Good morning, and thank you for joining us. Obviously, I am Charlie, the Elder Millennial Realtor, and this is my podcast, Movers and Shakers. Today, we have a very special episode. I am joined by a special guest, um, Graham, who is the Communications and
Development and Communications
Development and
Director.
Communications Director. I'm terrible at that. For Gillian's Place. So we're going to talk about a few issues. Warning up front, some of it could be triggering, so we want to let you know that ahead of time. But it's something that is very near and dear to my heart personally that I believe needs to be amplified. So we are going to dive in. Thank you for joining us. And thank you for coming and sitting with me today to do this one.
Oh, thank you for inviting me and the opportunity to talk about our work.
I really appreciate sincerely what you guys do at Gillian's Place. I know many people who have had, unfortunately, to use your services. And what you do for our community is incredibly important and valuable. So I want to amplify your business, I guess, or charity.
Nonprofit
Agency. Perfect. Thank you. To make sure that we can get it out in front of as many people as possible for those who may need it.
Yeah.
So starting off, first thing is give us just a quick idea of what Gillian's Place is.
Yeah, so we are an emergency shelter and core support services to survivors of gender-based violence. And we've, since 1977, grown from a small 8-bed volunteer-run shelter to our current operation. That's a 34-bed emergency shelter, multiple sites. We have a location in Beamsville as well, not a shelter, but support services there, as well as second stage housing. So not just shelter, wide range of programs and services. And, you know, you just mentioned that you know people that have utilized services like Gillian's Place. And on Canada, on any given night, there's about 6,000 women, children, and non-binary individuals sleeping in shelters just like Gillian's Place. So if you don't think you know someone who has experienced violence and abuse at the hands of an intimate partner, you probably do. And sadly, we see that all too often.
So next, what I'd like to just get a quick overview of are the services that you offer.
Yeah. Perfect. So beyond, our 34-bed emergency shelter, we do have a 24/7 crisis support line. So survivors or those who care about them can call and text 24/7 confidentially and get advice on their situation. So that's 905-684-8331. Just last year, over 11,000 crisis calls and texts were answered on our crisis support line. Over the past 2 years since the pandemic started, we've seen a 150% increase in demand for that service. So something that's really important, but something I like to stress is it's not available just for survivors. Oftentimes, people who care about them are concerned about a loved one, and they can call and, get support on how best to support those disclosures of abuse. And beyond those kind of emergency crisis support, we offer one-on-one and group counseling, child and youth programs, not only just for children staying in our shelter, but also living in the community. We do provide a comprehensive outreach program as well. Designed for families that don't necessarily need safe shelter, but, need support in breaking the cycle of violence and abuse. We have a legal advice and support program. We're one of Ontario's first shelters. We were actually the first shelter in Ontario to employ a full-time family law lawyer, and she manages a crisis caseload of 700 clients per year. The legal system really is not a friend to survivors of violence and abuse. Education and violence prevention programs, transitional support, and second stage family programs. So really supported second stage housing. So we offer 13 rent geared to income apartments in Niagara, which is so important, right?
I know that.
And that's program that's completely donor driven. Sadly, we just do not receive enough government funding. Our operating budget relies on 50% donor dollars derived from the community.
Make a quick point about the tech services, because I think that's one that gets overlooked, that in current day and age is incredibly important for some women.
Absolutely.
In my industry, I have a lot of female realtors that have spoken. I've had a lot of realtors when we've just talking in general and they find out I'm doing this podcast, this episode, that they open up. Mm-hmm. And one of the common threads is the tech services that you provide are helping them immensely to understand how to protect themselves on social media, because we have to use it as part of our business. Mm-hmm. So the advice, but also beyond just the advice, the assistance.
Yeah.
So
cyber misogyny, sadly, is something that transcends all sectors. But at the start of the pandemic, we had just implemented that tech support line prior to COVID, and we were so thankful that we did, because when women and children were home in their house with their abuser, it wasn't always safe to place a phone call to our support line, right? So we saw a huge increase in tech support right from the beginning of COVID. In March 2020, we saw an 1,000% increase compared to the year prior. So we know it's really important, and we're always there to support in any way we can.
It's such a vital service these days.
Absolutely.
So now something that I really want to amplify is a program called Walk a Mile in Her Shoes. If you could explain that a little bit to us and how it is implemented with what you do.
Yeah, so Walk a Mile in Her Shoes is our largest fundraising event at Gillian's place. This year is its 17th year. Its goal is $120,000, but beyond just, those raising vital funds for Gillian's place, it's a really big awareness event for us, right?
It's really multinational.
Absolutely. And it's, taking an issue that was once behind closed doors and really bringing it front and center. And it's changed a lot, especially the last 2 years. Throughout the pandemic, we've encouraged everyone to walk, but this year we're really excited to be back at the Penn Center, a men's march to end violence against women. If you look at across any equity deserving and equity seeking group, it's usually those who are oppressed that are doing the work to end marginalization against them, and certainly that's the case in violence against women. So it's the real one opportunity for men to take a stand and let the women be the cheerleaders and encouraging them to march to end violence against women.
Yeah. I think it's vitally important for gender equity that men also stand up and take a stance like that. So thank you so much for promoting and managing these causes and implementing them into your services as well to help with the fundraising. I'm definitely going to take you up on putting a team together.
That's great.
So that we can do that. I'm not sure how well I'll succeed in the walk portion, but I will give it my best shot.
You don't have to wear heels. We have slippers, flip-flops, but heels is fun, and it really speaks to those barriers that survivors, not just women, but any survivor of gender-based violence faces in their daily struggle.
So I don't have to wear heels.
You don't have to.
Okay, I think I'm in.
Perfect.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today and speaking about these different topics that are very, very necessary and vital to your services and helping to end gender-based violence.
Thank you so much for having me.